What is up, guys? Today I will show you how my app, the Movement Trybe, works. I'm gonna go through a workout, a test workout that I made. And if you don't have the app, you can consider this sort of an insight into both how I program my workouts as well as how the app's workouts appear and how they work, so that you know what you're getting into if you decide to get the app. Now, if you do have the app, you can consider this sort of like a follow along. So I recommend using a computer or screen to view this video and open the app with your phone so you can follow along to learn how to most efficiently navigate the app and use the workouts specifically. So without further ado, I will enter the test workout that I made specifically for this video to showcase some of the different kinds of set and repetition schemes that I use, as well as some different progressions and exercise categories, as you will see. So inside the app here, you can see the title, test workout, as well as a description. And you can see it's structured with different blocks. So each block has sort of a specific topic. Block 1 here is a warm-up, general warm-up that is. Block 2 is a specific warm-up. In this case, it's just a bunch of drills, a bit random because it's a test workout. Block 3 is mobility work, pre-workout mobility work, which I usually include in my workouts. And in block 4, you have a circle, which basically means that we have a lot of different exercises in a circle rather than doing one exercise 3 reps. In this case, we do 3 sets of the whole circle. This way we get to make our exercise or our workouts more efficient, so that we get more rest for each workout, for each exercise, but we still get the same amount of set. As you can also see, there is no rest here. That's because I like using stretches instead of rests in order to also get a more efficient workout and get use of our resting time. So usually you would rest between 2 to 3 minutes when training strength between each set, but instead I have put in different stretches in between the different exercises so that we can rest by stretching. You can obviously just rest and don't stretch if you would prefer not to do the stretch, but it is an alternative in case you, like me, want to stay a bit efficient. Another other thing that you notice here is that on the right side of all of these exercises or exercise categories, you have these arrows, and if you click it, you will see a bunch of different progressions. Now, before we start the workout, it's important that we look through the whole workout and choose the exercise progressions that are most suitable to ourselves. This is the only way that we can individualize the workouts and make them optimal for our own progress. Because I don't want to just throw a bunch of random exercises at you guys. I want to ensure that your workouts are efficient and are optimal and suited for you. So inside of this progression selector, you can see that the original progression is at the top and the other ones are labeled as harder. Sometimes the original might be more difficult than some of these, and then some of these will be labeled easier. Now, if you click on the picture of any of these, you will get up the exercise and see how it's performed, as well as form cues related to this particular progression. So you can browse through these different exercises and find the one that is most suiting to your own level. This may take some time in the beginning, but it's the only way to ensure the workout is optimized for you. So before any program, because programs are basically just a bunch of different workouts that are structured together in a daily schedule, it's important that you the first time you do a workout, you go through all of these and select the right progressions, but you don't have to do this every time, because if you see now, when I select, I'm just going to go ahead and select the most difficult one for this particular exercise category, press done, and always for this program. Then the app will remember your choice, and the next time you're doing this workout, you will automatically be using this particular progression. Now we're going to have to do this for all of these different exercise categories. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the most difficult one for all of them. Now, as you can see, you also have some choices in the mobility sections and the warm-up section. So you can also get a more efficient warm-up, because sometimes we also want to use our warm-ups to get better at particular things that doesn't require as much strength necessarily. So if you're doing this as a follow-along, you can go ahead and press pause and just go through all of these to sort of try and select the ones that you think is right at your level. And when you're selecting, you might also want to keep in mind that below each of the exercise names, you have instructions as of how the repetitions and sets are supposed to be performed. In this first case, for what appears on my screen as the straddle jump up, it says 5 to 10 tries, rest as needed between tries. This means that you should be able to do 5 to 10 tries of this, and I will get back to what I mean by tries, because I have quite a few different set and repetition schemes that are kind of peculiar, but this is a technical drill, which is why I write tries. I will discuss this further when we get to the actual workouts. For all of the stretches, you will see it says PNF plus activation and additional video instruction available. It means that in the additional resources in the app, you can access a specific video to get some more information about this. But I will explain this as we're doing the follow-along workout in a minute. Now for the tuck planche, 60 second, as it says on my screen, it says collecting seconds as many tries as needed for exercise goal rep and additional video instruction available. I will get back to what I mean by this, but it basically means that in this case, since it says 60 seconds, you see all of the different progressions also have different goal times, because we want to build up goal time for these static holds. So in this case, when it says 60 seconds, it means that I should be able to hold 60 seconds, not in one set, but in what I refer to as a set amount of subsets. In this case, if I can hold 60 seconds in less than 4 to 5 tries, this is the right progression for me. And what I mean by that is that I should do almost max holds, and then I can take a short break and breathe for 10 to 20 seconds and then do it once again, and keep on doing it until I collected 60 seconds. Now, if I'm able to do this within 4 to 5 sets, it means that this is the right progression for me. And if I can do this in less than 3 tries, it means that I should probably bump up to the next step. For the facing wall handstand push-up, or HSPU, as it says on my screen, it says 5 to 10 reps to failure. To failure means that I should do as many as I can until I can't do anymore because I'm exhausted. And 5 to 10 reps means that I should choose a progression that I am able to do for minimum 5 reps, but maximum 10 reps. If I go to failure and do more than 10 repetitions, it means that I'm ready for the next progression. If I can't do 5 repetitions, it means that I'm probably gonna have to use the previous progression. Now for the HSPU here, it says collecting 10 reps, as many tries as needed for exercise goal time. In this case, it's supposed to say exercise goal rep, my fault. But collecting reps is the same principle as collecting seconds. It means that I should choose a progression that I can collect 10 repetitions of, in this case, within 4 to 5 tries, with one try having a short rest between one try and the next try. So I will get back to this, you will understand it once we start the workout. So if you selected your workout or your progressions already, you can feel free to just start the workout like this, and the warm-up starts. So it says if I press play, it will count down for me and I can start the arm swing warm-up. And as you can see, it's counting down from 30. And it's done. Then I just swipe to the right and we go the next one. And it's the opposite way, and I did the wrong way the first time. So I'm gonna have to do forwards this time. It also says to start narrow and go bigger and bigger circles. So you can try and adjust this yourself throughout these 30 seconds. And over to the next. It says air squats, 20 reps. All right, we swipe again and scapula push-ups. 10 repetitions. All right, then we swipe again and deep squat and fold. You can see there's a video that shows how it's supposed to be done. And at any time you can also click on the information button and you get the form cues if there are any specific things you should think about. Now, some people might have their own workout that they like very much. In this case, you can also just skip the warm-up and do your own one. So next one is loaded pronated dislocations. Just gonna use my t-shirt for this. I totally forgot about it, so I didn't prepare the weights or the stick. So I should have probably just used the first. But I think if you click the information button on this one, yeah, because it's a loaded one, you need to use a stick or something similar. But this has, you can choose a bunch of different progressions on this one as well. And the first progression is using a towel, or in my case, a t-shirt. And it's done. Next one is supinated dislocation. Now, as you're doing these, you should always try and go as narrow as you can. And throughout the minute that we're doing them, you might even be able to go further, closer with your hands. And if you get tired, it's okay to do short rests as well. It's a warm-up, so we're not supposed to kill ourselves. And it's next one, wrist circles. So it's important to warm up our wrists, especially if we're doing handstand stuff. Now be aware that the exercises chosen in this workout is a little bit random, because I wanted to showcase different kinds of set schemes. So usually whenever I have anything handstand related or push-up related, I will use some wrist stretches in the specific warm-up. It's done, and we slide next one, flipped wrist stretch. Now again, I'm not going to go into detail on how to perform all of these drills, because you can just click the information button and you have some written form cues that will explain it to you as well. Now we're going to do the flipped wrist squeeze. So this specific warm-up might be a bit different depending on what kind of exercises are used in the main workout. We go to the next one again, and we're basically doing 2 rounds of these. And you can, if you want, just pause and follow the sequence again. But for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna head and just forward until block 3, which is mobility work. It's also basically some wrist work with combining strength and mobility. Now this one also has several different progressions. Usually I use this one, and now it says to do it 10 repetitions. I forgot to count, so I'm gonna say that's 10 repetitions. Next one is fingertip wrist flexions. This also has a bunch of different progressions that I totally forgot to choose in the beginning. I usually use this one with straight hips. You can do it on full push-up position as well. It's pretty hard. I'm gonna say that's 10. I forgot to count again. And you have the flipped wrist stretch or extensions. 10 repetitions as well. It's nice to have some soft surface on this one, because it can be quite painful if the floor is hard. Sometimes you can even combine progressions if you remember the last one. Okay, let's slide to the next, and we're back to the beginning of this round. It says 2 rounds of this sort of wrist mobility round. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and slide to the main block, block 4, which is the circle. Now for me, it says to do the straddle jump up, 5 to 10 tries. For you, it depends on what progression you chose. The first one is something with headstand, if I remember correctly. If that's the case, you can also use something soft to have your head. And I think it was something like doing these and just... But you can check the information button if you have questions regarding your particular progression. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one, 5 to 10 tries. So this is a technical exercise. I usually use tries. It means that I'm just gonna try and do it 5 to 10 times. And I can do, if I get like, the main purpose of these technical drills is the technique. So if I feel I'm getting tired and my technique is getting sloppier, take a short rest. Now I did 5 tries and I know that I can do 10, so I'm gonna go ahead and do 5 more. Now these technical drills are to a bigger extent present in the handstand programs, but also in some of the strength programs for the technical drills, the technical skills. So I'm gonna slide to the next one, which is a side split stretch with horizontal activation. There's 2 levels of this. One is on an elevated surface, but the idea here is to stretch. In this case, I do this side split stretch, try and go as deep as I can. And in the information button here, it says PNF phase is performed by pushing feet into ground towards each other for 5 controlled breaths and then relaxing. And the activation phase is performed by entering the double elbow lever and lifting legs. So we basically, at the end, when it's like 30 seconds left, we want to squeeze with our inner thighs in this one to strengthen and tire our inner thighs. I'm gonna start now. So I squeeze my legs together as hard as I can. and I relax. So, and I slide further down, because you are usually able to after this sequence. And when it's like 10 seconds left, I'm gonna go in the activation phase, where I focus on activating the opposing muscles. In this case, glutes and hip flexors, in order to get strong in the position we're stretching. And that's it. Now the next one is the tuck planche, 60 seconds for my case. So I'm gonna pretend like I can hold maximum like 15 seconds for this one, even though I can hold it more. So you do the same for whatever progression that you chose. You're gonna hold for as long as you can, almost. I counted seconds on in and out breath because I like doing it that way. And then I take a short breath. So I could probably have held for a bit longer, or that's the ideal case. I could have for a long time, but you should save like 1 or 2 seconds just so you don't exhaust yourself right away. And then about 10 controlled breaths, maybe 15. And then we do it one more time. Let's pretend like I can do 13 seconds now. So that was 13 seconds. That means I have a total of 28 seconds and I'm lacking 32. So just like short rest, just to sort of get back to it. And then I do it one more time. I'm gonna pretend like I can do 13 seconds once more. Now I have 41 seconds, so I'm lacking, what is it, 19? Once again, just like a short rest. And like I said, you go almost to failure, but not completely. Maybe I can do 12 seconds now. Let's pretend I can. So that was 12 seconds more or less, and means I have 53 seconds collected and I'm missing 7. Now this last is going to be my 4th subset, and in the last subset, when you know you're going to hit that goal time, it's important that you just go all the way to failure. So I'm going to pretend I can do 12 on this last one too. And I recommend noting down whatever you hold for each of the subsets. so that you can compare yourself to yourself next time and try to improve maybe at least 1 or 2 of these subsets. And that's it. Now I collected 60 seconds, or more like 65 or something. And now we go to the next one, which is the pancake stretch. And I chose the progression where I used the band to assist myself. But I forgot my band, so I'm just going to use the wall instead, which is also one of the progressions. So I use the wall to push myself down. This is also a PNF plus activation kind. So when it's about a minute left, I'm gonna do the PNF sequence. So I'm pushing my heels into the ground and towards each other to tighten my inner thighs as hard as I can, so that I feel that I'm sort of cramping up. 5 slow breaths while doing this, relax, and then push myself deeper. Sort of trick our bodies into thinking that that it's not a painful position because we tire our muscles so that they can't give us much resistance, and that means that it won't hurt as much. Now, closing in on 10 seconds, I'm gonna do the activation phase, where I'm basically using my hip flexors and my quads to hold myself down in the position without assistance. And the next exercise is for me the handstand push-up facing the wall. For you it might be something entirely different, but it says 5 to 10 reps to failure, so we should do the exercise all the way to failure, as many as we can. Now I can do this, quite a few of these, but I'm gonna pretend like I can do 10 repetitions. So optimally you shouldn't even be able to do the last one if you chose the correct progression for you. And then you slide over to the next exercise, which is the handstand push-up, it says, but we're gonna need a rest in between. So just gonna slide over to the pike stretch. And pretend like that was in between. I'm probably gonna fix that pretty soon. So we're basically using this stretch as our rest. And this is also kind of PNF plus activation strategy we're using here. So I'm gonna push my heels into the ground as hard as I can for like 10 breaths, 5 breaths or 10. Really feel the hamstrings cramping up. And then relax and pull myself deeper. And when it's closing in on 10 seconds, maybe 15 to get some more hold time, we're gonna do the activation phase. So we try to keep the same position without assistance, by tightening our hip flexors, quads, and using our core to compress our body against our feet or our legs. And now it's back to the handstand push-up again. So this is a part of the technical work towards the handstand push-up. So there are many progressions, and this is the last one. And it says collecting reps. So I'm collecting repetitions, and it's the same strategy as collecting seconds like we did with the tuck planche, only with repetitions this time, because we're focusing on the technique. So optimally, I would have chosen an exercise that it's difficult to do 3-4 repetitions of, and maybe I need even more practice technically in order to do them efficient. Now the handstand push-up I can do quite a few of, but I'm going to pretend like I can do 3 at a time. So I want to collect 10 repetitions. So I did 3, I'm going to do a short rest. About 10 controlled and deep breaths. The same should you for whatever progression that you chose for this category. That eventually will lead up to the handstand push-up in sort of a technical manner, using technical drills more related to the balance part of the handstand push-up. So I'm going to pretend like I can do 3 again. Again, I'm gonna do a short rest. Now when using collecting repetitions or collecting seconds, sometimes it's a set amount, like in this case 10 repetitions, no matter what progression you're using. In other cases, the progression itself states how many repetitions or seconds the goal time or repetitions is, like for the planche that we did. Now, I'm going to do it once again. I'm going to pretend like I can do 2 this time. Seems realistic. So I did 3, 3, 6, 8. I lack 2 to collect 10 repetitions. Now you should always use a progression that makes this become challenging. And if you're able to do this within 3 subsets or tries, then you should move to the next progression to make it harder. So, last progression here. I'm going to do as many as I can. I'm going to pretend like I can squeeze out 3 again. And that was 1 complete round of this circle. So now we're back at the straddle jump up again. And it says 3 sets of this circle. So now we did 1 set of each of these exercises, even though a couple of them were including subsets, so to say. I'm not going to go through the whole circle again, but if you do have the app and the phone in front of you, you can feel free to do that. I think I explained what I wanted to do. So when you finish 2 more of these rounds, the workout is finished. And I'm going to give myself 6 stars. Because the app is pretty good. So with this tutorial, I hope perhaps you got some better insight into how to use the workouts. I know it can be a lot if you are, especially if you're a beginner to strength workout. It may be a little bit of a hassle choosing all of these progressions in the beginning when you're starting a program or the first time you're doing a particular workout. But that is what's necessary in order to optimize the workout for you. So it will be worth it, and it may even take a couple of weeks to properly adapt and to find the perfect progressions for you. But the more you use the app, the more you do the workouts, the easier it will feel, and the easier it will be for you to know what level you are. So if you're using the app, thank you so much for subscribing to the service. It means a lot. I'm really making a big effort in order to develop all the programs and the workouts. And if you just watched this video because you were curious, then I hope to see you in the app and in the forum, and that you become a part of our community. That's it for this time. Thank you guys for watching.